All right. Happy Tuesday. My name is Wendy Lee, and I'm running a few minutes late behind today. Sorry about that. So again, I'm Wendy Lee, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US, and super excited you guys are joining me again today for a little bit of paper crafting fun. So what are we going to do in the studio today? We are going to make this super cool, it's just gorgeous, flat fold, so it'll fold flat, little gift box, gift bag actually, and it's got a little magnet closure. So let me see if I can, oh, I just found the magnets I lost earlier. They stuck to the bag. All right, well, let me open that. So you've got the little closure there, and it's cute little on the inside, right? I love that it's got the double-sided paper. That way we have a cute inside and outside to our lovely, lovely gift bag. So I actually shared this project on my blog, I think it was last week, middle of last week, as part of our All-Star Tutorial blog hub. So we are featuring products from the Whole Expressions and Ink product suite, which also has this fabulous paper. So we're featuring that in our All-Star Tutorial bundle this month. And we also have our 6-month subscription open. So if you subscribe to purchasing the All-Star Tutorials each month for the next 6 months, you actually only pay for 5 months. You get 1 month free, which is super fun. Love it. And there's great tutorials. It's a really good group. You get some really nice project ideas from this. So it's definitely one to get. Of course, you can get them free. Join my Diamonds team. They always get all my tutorials for free. Or you can purchase $50 US from me in any given month and get that month's tutorial bundle for free. So yay, right? All right, we want to go ahead and get paper crafting. Oh, before I jump into that, you might notice some projects behind me. Those are a sneak peek of some of the things you may or may not see at this weekend's Maker's Mojo Creative Escape event. So my friend Melissa Kerman, Elisa Tilsner, and Audra Monk are getting together this time, and we've got some great projects to show you. So you don't want to miss all the creative inspirations. I hope you'll join us. I'll make sure I add a link to the Maker's Mojo information in the description of this video, so you've got the information. And I'll go back and add, as usual, all the supplies we're using for today's project, as well as the cut dimensions and all of that fun stuff. So that way you can purchase all the items you need and you can recreate this project. All right, are we ready to switch? Let's switch our video over. Make sure it's all working. Yes, I will adjust a little bit there because I can see that I am not exactly where I should be, right? And you know what? I didn't turn on my second camera and I need to do that. So you guys will need to give me just a moment while I turn this on. I can go ahead and bring in this little bag so you can see that a little bit closer maybe. And let's get this other setup turned on. Sorry about that. Yeah, like I said, I was running a little bit late today. So not quite all there, I guess. Let me go ahead, and while that's coming on, I'm going to go ahead and check and make sure I am in the correct Facebook group. It looks like I am, best that I can tell. Let's see. Let me go to it a different way and see if I can double check. Hope you guys are doing well today. Gotta love the start of a new week, right? That just means we get to the weekend quickly, hopefully. Have some good plans, right? I have great plans because I'm going to be doing the Maker's Mojo event this weekend. Oh, good. Elaine, so glad you're here. Gwen, great, you're here. All right, so I'm starting to see a few people pop in. Say hello, leave me a comment. I will try to answer any questions as you guys have them, as they come up. And if I miss them, I will go back and make sure that I answer them. Sometimes it is difficult to see when you're doing all of this fun stuff. You know, the camera gets in the way and all that fun things that we've got going on. All right, I'm almost there. I apologize. Again, I forgot to even turn it on this morning. So it's just being a little bit slow and it's being quirky, it looks like. Maybe. Do I see it? Yay, finally. I'm so sorry. Oh, Jennifer, hey, so glad you're here. Nice to see you guys today. Yes. Good grief. This keeps popping up weird. All right, this computer screen's being a little strange, so I'll try to watch and make sure I get your comments, but if not, please leave them. I will answer them afterwards. All right, we're going to jump in. So as I mentioned, this gorgeous little bag, I keep calling it a box, it's a bag, features the artistically inked stamp set, and we're going to pull in the dies as well to cut out our flower and our leaf, right? I'm also pulling in a couple of the other die sets. Oh, you know what? No, let me just keep going down the path I'm going. So I'm also pulling in the Hippo and Friends dies. We're going to use this shape here to create our top of our bag. And then the, I always say this wrong, Tasteful labels dice. We're going to use this circle here. So we're going to be pulling in all of those things. And then for embellishments, I am using the sequins from the ephemera pack. So this has not been orderable for quite some time. I checked just a bit ago. It's supposed to come on back this week. So we'll see how that plays out as the next couple of days go on. The designer paper that we're using that's from that suite, the Expressions in Ink, is now available to order. It is on back order, so it won't arrive at your doorstep until August. Yes, I know, but you can order it, which means you get on the list at least to get the designer paper. So definitely grab that. And then we're going to use some of this gold cord from the Elegant trim combo. Okay, let's start with creating this bag. So I'm going to pull in my Simply Scored. And I've actually made a template because I wanted to make sure, number one, I didn't score it improperly while we are crafting today. And number two, to make sure that you could see what we're doing. So I don't know if you can read that or not. I'm going to go through it, but you could probably take a little screen snip of it to have this template to recreate it if I go too fast. Hey, Jean, so glad you're here. Yay. All right, so I'm going to set this aside, but I'll bring it back into the screen as needed. But I am going to go ahead and slide this over just a smidge because we don't need it all on the screen. So maybe you can see it's crooked now, it's sideways, but at least you can see it if you want to grab that. So I am starting off with a piece of the designer series paper, and I went with a different print this time just so you can see it. And it's 8.5 inches long by 5 inches tall. And we're going to start off by scoring it. So I've got my markers at 2.5, 4, 6.5, and 8. Now, when I score designer series paper, normally it doesn't matter which end of this scoring tool you use, but for designer paper, I like to use the larger ball just because then I don't put down too much pressure. So again, I'm going to score this at 2.5, 4, 6.5, and 8. Now, I want to score it again partially the way down at 3.25. So let me move my markers to 3.25 and 7.25. All right. So I'm going to move these others off because otherwise I will get confused and I will do something wrong here. Now I'm going to bring in a ruler because I only want this score line to go about 2.75 of an inch deep. So I'm placing my ruler, top of my ruler at the 2.75 mark on the side of my Simply Scored. And then I'm just going to score it at the 3.25 and at the 7.25. This is going to help just make my gussets on the side of the bag. It's not a must-have, but I think it works really nice to do that. All right, so let's rotate. So this is the bottom, this is the top. I'm going to change my markers and I'm going to put them at 1.5 and 4.5. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and score the full length at 1.5 and again at 4.5. All right, so our scoring is done. We're going to take this out of the way. Go ahead and bring in my bone folder, and I'm going to go ahead and fold on my score lines here. And on that bone folder gives you a nice good crease. Look how pretty the inside's going to be. You could use that for the outside if you prefer. I like it on the inside though. I want to make sure I get that nice gold on the outside. All right, so I'm going to fold up this one. This is just going to help me see it a little bit better as I put my stuff on, right? Woo, my tummy's growling. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Hopefully not. Great. All right. So that is my base that I have scored. Now we're going to do some clipping. So you can see on my template here. So put the template in so you can see it as well. Actually, I'm going to put it on the bottom because if I am outside of camera, I at least want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to start with the bottom here and I'm going to cut in these right here. So I'm going to go straight up on the score lines. And then I'll come in and angle cut and shorten these side tabs. I don't need them quite that long, so I'm going to go ahead and clip them off. All right, so let me go ahead and grab this. So again, I'm going to clip straight up on that score line, stopping at that intersection there. And same thing here. Let's do all of them just so we can make sure we're following along there. And then we'll do this other tab here, straight up. Now, I don't need this whole corner here, so I could come and then angle cut it, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. And I know I want this tab at an angle, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. I'm going to angle this one, or miter it, as I like to call that. Miter this one, and then we'll just cut some of that flap off, because we don't really need that. It doesn't have to be straight. It's okay if it's crooked. All right? And then same thing on this one. Let me move that tab out of the way, so we don't accidentally cut that. And we're going to miter this one. Okay. And same thing here. Let's move that tab right out of our way. We'll miter this one. Okay. And then just clip some off the bottom there. Again, that doesn't have to be straight. If it bothers you, of course, make it straight, right? All right. So that's our bottom edge that needs to be cut. And we need to leave these straight because that's going to give us our finished edge. All right. Now, on the top here, before I do this clipping, I'm actually going to fold this over and I'm going to put tear and tape on the back side of this. It's just going to make it easier and faster for me. So I'm doing a little cheating here. So I'm going to put my tear and tape right there. Okay. Let's go ahead and run our bone folder on it. That way we know we have a good adhesion. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my clips along the top here. So I'm going to, on this far end, I'm going to taper this side tab. And then I want to taper this top right there as well. All right. Now, each of these folds across the top, I want to go ahead and taper those as well. So I'm just going to fold it in half. Since I'm dealing with designer paper, this makes it super easy. And I'm going to clip through both at the same time. So just a little trick you can do. You can do this with cardstock. It's a little thick. And so sometimes I get some funky cuts when I do that, but I try it anyway. Why not? Now, if it makes you nervous to go down towards the fold, you could always cut from the fold up. Great. And then I'm going to taper this very last one here as well. Now, what did that do? That cut my tear and tape, but I'm all the way to the edge. So I'm going to have a nice, good adhesion, and I didn't have to mess with trying to fit all those pieces on there. So that's why I ran it all at once. Great. This is going to give us a nice, clean finish on the inside of the bag. So now this looks like my template, or hopefully close to my template. All right. So we're going to move that out of the way, and we're going to begin putting the box itself together. All right. So let's put a little bit of tear and tape on these tabs on the bottom here. And you can tear it or you can clip it. It's whatever makes you happy. So I think I'm going to put this at the end here. Dun, dun, dun. And it's been a few weeks since I made this bag, so I'll have to remember, see if I remember or if I've forgotten everything. I might have forgotten a lot of things. All right, so now I'm going to flip this over. Actually, I'm going to put tear and tape on this tab. Well, if I can find the end of the tear and tape, I'm going to go ahead and put tear and tape on this tab. I believe that is the correct of what I was hoping to do. We'll rub that. Let me dry fit this real quick. So what's going to happen is we're going to put this together, right? So that's going to be our sides. We'll fold these down to clean finish our top. And then on the bottom here, we will fold these tabs in and then fold these down. So I do want to put tear and tape on the back of these large flaps as well, so that they hold down in place really well. Hopefully that makes sense. We'll do that one step at a time so you guys can see everything. All right, I think I got it. Write that really good. All right, so one step at a time. Again, the narrow side is my top, and this is my side. So I'm going to fold this over, and this is going to fold right down on top of it. All right, hopefully you guys can see that with this crazy print. And we'll take this tape backing off. Oh, good. That was a good tip. I'm glad you guys like that with the tape. All right, and so I've got that down. So now I have a nice bag that's going to fold flat no matter where I fold it on either side. So I've got that nice flat appearance. And then now I can fold these down, and I'm going to cover that tab so you'll never know that I had this this tab right there on the side. You won't see that seam is what I'm trying to say. It's going to give you a nice finished look. So let's see if we can get the paper off of these. And of course, these tabs up here are going to give it a nice double edge. So it's going to make it sturdier, which is good, right? We want it to be nice and sturdy. So flipping that over. Now the tapers are fine, that you're going to see the other print through that. If that bothers you, don't taper it so much. The reason for the taper is so that it doesn't push out against your flat edges, right? Sometimes you can fight those corners, and we don't want to do that. So it helps to taper those. But I think it still looks fabulous. Look at that. Cute, right? All right, so that's my top edge. So let's close the bottom. So let's move those open so you can see those. Now, I want to see what my front is. Okay, so that's going to be the back. This is the front. So I want to do this one last. That's my front. I'm going to move it out of the way. So let's take our side tabs. Now, you don't have to do it, but I think it looks cleaner if your seams all go towards the back, right? All right, so there's our side tabs. I guess I didn't need to put it on here too, but I did anyway. I might regret that because my tabs don't go all the way across. Well, we'll see what happens. I may have to put something in the bottom of my bag because it's going to be sticky, I think. I should have put it on the top here instead of the bottom, but that's all right. Both will work. I'm a little wide right there. You can see where I cut maybe off my score line a little bit. So we'll just trim that away. Okay. So yep, I do have a little sticky. So where I put that tear and tape across that second flat tab, you actually don't really need that. So I've got a little sticky showing on the bottom there. That's no big deal. I can drop a little bit of powder down in there and remove that so it won't be sticky, if that makes any sense to anybody. All right, so there is the base of my bag. Now remember these little score lines we did on the side? I'm going to do a little pinch on both sides, right? Just along those score lines. And I didn't go down all the way because I'm actually going to flatten that back, okay? So I've got my sides pinched, and I'm just going to push that down against itself and create that fold in the back of that bag. So my front, and then you can see how your back folds, right? And then you can just put your fingers in there and open that back up. So it created that extra fold down on the side. All right, so the base of our gift bag is really in good shape. Hopefully that made sense to you guys. I'm going to set that aside. Let's work on our decorations. All right, so I've got a piece of basic weight cardstock, and I am going to stamp. Let's stamp our flower in Magenta Madness. I have plenty of cardstock here. And then we're going to stamp our little leaf in Evening Evergreen. I'm loving this color. I don't know if you guys have a favorite end color. I don't know if I can choose, but I'm really loving the Evening Evergreen and the soft succulent. I've used pale papaya quite a bit. Oh yes, the DSP, you've got some on the way. Great, great. Yes, if you love this designer paper pack, and I'll pull out the sheet so you guys can see it. It's one you want to order because it keeps selling out. All right, so we're going to cut out the flower with this die from the Artistic Dies, and then the leaf, right? And then I also want this label here, okay, from the Tasteful labels. So we're going to go cut those out. Dun, dun, dun. And I think I already have them cut out. There they are. I hid them from myself. So I've got those pieces there. Now I also need the top of my bag because I wanted to decorate that. So I've already cut out a piece of gold foil with this label right here. See if I can lay that down. There we go. So it's the second largest one for this one that I used. All right, now I want to score this as well. So let me bring that Simply Scored back in. And I'm going to move my markers out of the way, I think, because I think it's going to confuse me. So let me move those out of the way. Takes a second, no big deal. And what I want to do is I want to score to either side of the center. So I mark my 1-inch marks on my Simply Scored with a Sharpie. It just makes it easier to do things like this. So I've got this down, and my center is placed at the 5-inch mark. So it doesn't really matter what mark you place it at. It's just you need to put it somewhere. Now I want to score 1/8 to either side of it. So I'm going to go, if I can hold that in place, I'm going to go to the mark that's right next to it. So that's 1/8 inch over, and score that, and then go back to my center, go 1/8 inch on the other side. Whoops, I'm having trouble holding it in place. And I'm going to score it again. You can score the very center if you want to, but I found that I don't really need to. So then you can just fold that, and that's going to give you a little room at the top of your bag. All right, move that out of the way. Perfect. All right, so I want to adhere the back of this. It's going to fit right on the back of my bag here. And so I want to adhere that down and put that in place. You can use tear and tape. You can use whatever makes you happy. I'm going to use liquid glue. And this is why I'm going ahead and doing this now, because this needs a little bit of time to set up before I start putting all the other stuff on. So I'm putting a light layer of liquid glue. Let's see if I can scribble that down a little bit, because I want a nice good adherence to the back of this bag. So let's see if I can do this without making too big of a mess. So I'm right at the bottom of that score line, and I'm just holding this in place for just a moment. So hopefully I'm not oozing out the back, right? All right, so we're going to let that sit and dry for just a bit, okay? Let's go ahead and build this little medallion that we're putting on the front here. And again, I can pull in the original so you can see this. Fold that down so you hopefully see it a little bit better. All right, so I'm going to take my leaf and I'm going to adhere that down with a little bit of liquid glue. Okay. And just lay this right there, so it doesn't really matter. And then I want to use some dimensionals and put some on the back of this little flower. Don't you love all the variation that happens when you stamp with these distinctive stamps? This one especially. It's so pretty. It's just so pretty. Just all that great detail that you get just with stamping with one color. Oh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Now I want to go ahead and adhere this to the front of this tab here. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue right down here. And then I'm going to put a little bit on the upper section of this. I just want to make sure that I don't get glue where I don't want glue, right? So I'm going to eyeball this where I want it placed. Let's kind of look at that before it goes too far. Okay, good. I don't have exposed adhesive, which I'm glad. And we're just going to let that sit for just a moment and dry. Okay, now this designer paper, while it is absolutely fantastic, and while that's sitting and drying for a moment, I'll pull out the chart so you guys can see it. This is not one of the 9 that is on sale as part of our designer paper sale, but I'm going to show it to you anyway because it's awesome. And like I said, this one keeps selling out. It is currently orderable, but again, it's already back ordered till August. Although that's really just a few more weeks, so not too bad. Let me bring that in so you can see all these gorgeous papers. Let me slide these out of the way, or slide them over so you can see this, how pretty these papers are. So it is double-sided, and there's this gold fleck or detailing in 6 of the sides, and then the back sides don't have the gold in them, but they're also just gorgeous. Now, what you can't see from this is that some of the sheets have the design just through the center of it. So they lend themselves really nicely to cutting the sheet up into card fronts and having some white space to be able to stamp a sentiment and keep a really simple but absolutely fabulous card. So anyway, and then you've got the coordinating colors. So lots of great coordinating colors. So this is such a beautiful paper pack. Highly recommend grabbing this one. And then we do have 9, yes, 9 papers that you can currently purchase that are 15% off. So let me show you these. So in good taste, this is a paper pack that carried over from the last catalog, full of fabulous textures. And there are actually, instead of 6 double-sided designs, there's 12. So I've got a back side to this. So really, really great, great prints. It's a nice big paper pack. So definitely one to have in your arsenal if you don't have it already. Then you've got Bloom Where You're Planted. So much fun, so much fun. And then Tidings of Christmas. Have you started Christmas in July yet? Yes. Some really nice prints there as well. Sweet Symmetry. Bold prints there. They're fun. And then you've got Pansy Petals, just so pretty. If you like that pansy set. And then it's got really great geometric designs on the back. In the Wild. That's where you get your animal print. So even if, you might be a huge fan of these tigers and cheetahs. I know some people love it. If you're not, though, this is still a paper pack to consider because of the prints on the back side. Like you could use this floral print or this tiger stripe print in so many things. Same thing, you've got some leafy prints here. The cheetahs, I think those are fun. Some more leafy prints, some geometric shapes. So if you like the coloring of this, you could use this outside of just using it in the big cats. So I do think it's pretty versatile. Then you have hand penned. So this one's nice too. So you've got your colorful florals on one side and then your more monotone on the other side. It's got an ombre feel to it, a little bit paper, like watercolor effect to it. Very nice. And then last but not least, nope, there's 2 more. Beauty of the Earth is, it's, to me, it reminds me of fall, although it's not. This could be a wintry print. It's full of just foliage, and you've got your wood grain. This is a nice, just textured looking paper, but it's very versatile. The more you play with this, the more fun I have with it. So you'll see me use this one again. And then You're a Peach, I've used this a few times already as well. And it's just a really pretty paper. Love the backside prints as well as the front side prints. So again, very versatile. And even if you're not a peach fan, there's something you can use on each one of these paper patterns. So good colors, great fun. So some really good choices there. All right, so I think this should be dry enough that we can start assembling the rest of this. So let's put the magnet in next. So I buy my magnets from a company called Total Element. This is in the blog post that I shared last week. And this is a 3/16 by a 1/8 inch size that I'm using. And they're super, super strong magnets. They are just, they're just super, super strong. I don't know what else to say other than that. So I am going to put one of the magnets on the inside of the bag so that there's paper between them, and then one on the outside. So Whoops, see how they snap together? They're super strong. Now, if you don't like to use magnets, because I know some people don't, if you don't like to use magnets, you could use Velcro for this, and it would work fabulously as well. So I'm just going to pick up a glue dot, so I'm smushing that in pretty good. My technical language there. I'm going to kind of eyeball about where I want it. So I want it about here or a little higher, right? So I'm going to place this magnet. I'm just sticking it to my finger and sliding it down in to my bag. And so I'm going to give that a nice good push. Doesn't have to be perfectly centered. So you guys can see I've got that magnet just stuck right to that inside of that bag, right? So now I can drop this magnet on. It's going to find its home with the other magnet. And then I can put a glue dot on it and then grab it with the lid there. So let's grab another glue dot. Let's see. Oh, thank you guys for sharing. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the projects I'm sharing, I'd love for you to share this with your crafty friends. Tell them to come over and join us for a little bit of fun on Tuesdays. That would be fantastic. That helps me out, helps me grow. All right, so I've got my glue dot right on my magnet. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm just going to fold this over. I'm going to push that down really good and grab that magnet. So let me carefully pull this off. I get that another really good push on here. So now I have that perfect magnet closure. Lovely, right? All right, let's finish off our decorations. Let me unfold that bag a little bit there. We're going to grab some of our gold cord and just add a little fun to the top of the bag. So I'm just wrapping that around. And let's see. See if I can do this so that you can see me doing it, right? This is not always easy to do. Anytime you're trying to do it on camera, right? All right, so I've got it. I'm going to write my bow. See if I can hold it. This is when you need a second hand. I could use the glue dot trick where you put a glue dot under the knot to hold it in place, but I actually don't want to do that because when you're dealing with foil, sometimes it really leaves a lot of residue, and I really don't want that. All right, so I've got it around. I'm going to finish my bow in just a moment. I'm going to let that close, and then I can pull this a little bit tighter. Oh, this cord's not being my friend today. I think I got it. There we go. Got to pull that one pretty tight. Cord is not always the easiest to tie, but it's stunning and it looks great with this project, right? So we're going to clip that off. How beautiful. Just adds a nice little touch. All right, let's add a few of those little pieces from our ephemera pack. So I am going to use, it comes with these awesome little sequins. So they're clear little sequins. So we'll use a couple of those, just add a splashing. So grab a couple of those with my take your pick and place that right up there. Give that a little press. We'll add a couple more right on the base of our bag. And again, since this does fold flat, I can go ahead and fold it flat and give those a little bit of a push, or I could open it up and put my hand down inside and do it that way. But either way, I can get it so that I get a little bit of a push down on that bag. So cute. I hope you guys love these. So these, let's see, what do these measure? I think I had it written down. Let's see if I've got a cheat. Yes, so it's about a 2.5 inch wide bag. And about 1.5 deep, and I believe 3 inches or so tall. So it's a pretty decent size little gift bag. So you can put some candy treats in there. Jewelry is always great. But it just is a nice, small, very pretty little gift bag that you can use. So this is fun to use for coworkers, for just friends. Maybe you're going out to lunch meeting, somebody you haven't seen in a while, like to bring them a little treat. You can do that. Leave it on somebody's desk at work. I think these would also be fun to create and make as little place settings when you're having an event, and put a little treat inside for that as well. Oh yeah, hand sanitizer would be perfect. That'd be a great little gift. So yeah, I just think they're stunning. this paper makes, you know, granted, all of our papers are gorgeous, but this one in particular, I just love all the gold elements in it. It adds such a nice fun touch with it. So anyway, so I hope that you guys love this and we'll give these a try. Yes? Oh, good. Hey, Debbie, so glad you're here. Okay, so glad you're here. Perfect. All right. I'm glad that you guys like this one. And again, I will go back and make sure that the video includes the complete supply list so that you guys can order the products you need and the cut dimensions so you have everything you need to recreate it. Perfect. Oh, yes, earrings. That would be a perfect gift as well. Yeah, jewelry. To me, anytime you can put a little gifty in, put some jewelry in, that's always nice, right? Scissor charms. You got little scissor charms. You know, put on your scissors or key fobs. All right. Thank you all so much. And I will catch you next Tuesday. All right. Bye for now.